Exposed! Exposed, 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 exposed. For he made him who knew no sin to be sin for us, that we might become the righteousness of God in him. 2 Corinthians 5:21. In 2015, security at the hookup website ashleymadison.com was compromised by hackers who then released names when the blackmail attempt failed. Imagine the panic that users must have felt as they waited to see whether or not their misdeeds would become public knowledge. There's a passage in Luke's Gospel that used to terrify me as a child. Therefore, whatever you have spoken in the dark will be heard in the light, and what you have spoken in the ear in the inner rooms will be proclaimed on the housetops. Really? Everything?
Everything. Everything?
I imagined a humiliating public experience where angels would literally stand on rooftops reciting my darkest secrets to the amusement of just about everyone I knew. It would be humiliating. Not getting caught with your pants down humiliating, but humiliating nonetheless. But consider this, poor sinner. Christ was publicly humiliated so that you will not be. He hung naked on a cross, condemned as a criminal, and your sins were placed on his shoulders. He was made sin for us. Paul writes, Christ has redeemed us from the curse of the law, having become a curse for us. The cross has become so common to the Christian that we forget how scandalous it was. The innocent Son of God dying a shameful public death. That he voluntarily chose. Who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame. Imagine that your name was leaked in a data dump. Or worse, account information. But instead of finding your name, you find Christ. He is innocent, but he stepped in and agreed to wear your shame He cannot imagine eternity without you. The world ridicules him, and you are free. You and I are still guilty of the sins that cost Jesus so much. Sin is spiritual infidelity and disqualifies us from God's kingdom. What are its wages? What's the penalty? That should have been the end of the story. But where sin abounded, grace abounded much more. That ought to profoundly change how we live.